expected, as you said.
This is the Chisholm Maroons I'm used to seeing. This is them, playing it through their jungle.
Blue takes him down, but Master Knight has been angered and will take it right back.
Thanks for showing why they needed to ban him out, but even still, I believe.
And the Warwick being such a playmaker in the side of St. Francis.
Fire. They want a bit of revenge. They get a second kill on the back end, and they might be able to.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the grand finale, the final day of the Chisholm Invitational. And with me is Kara Kid. How you going?
Pretty good. How are you going?
One of the winners for the Let Me Shout competition that Chisholm ran. So we'll have a number of student shoutcasters here during the day. And I mean, we're just ready to get started with pretty much the first match up here. We'll talk about the lineup. So if we look at the bracket now, we can jump straight into, the games so as fast as possible here. So up first, we have Spcc versus Aquinas 1. And then on the other side, we have STMC Black versus Chisholm Maroon. And we're just waiting to see who the victor of that is. But the game we are watching, first up, is SPCC versus Aquinas 1. We'll see how this is going to see if SPCC can get a victory here or potentially get knocked out, which would be a very big upset. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, both teams have been going well in both of their brackets, and this is a deciding match for both teams.
Yeah, 100%. We have a little bit of a special thing here at the Chisholm Invitational, though. We start up with the SPCC lineup here, bumped up in production quality. There we go. There they are in the support. We have Shaco not found, which we saw on Thursday. Don't let him get Shaco, right? Let's learn that. I'll say that now. Aquinas, you have a free one. Water Hazard as the AD carry. Hey, I'm purple in the mid lane. In top, we have Master Knight. And then Phoenix Creed XD as the jungler. And then when you look at the statistics there, overall, all of them have a lot of team pressure, a lot of assists, a lot of kills, a very strong team overall. And then on the other side, if we look at Aquinas AQ, the team going against the Giants of SPCC. In the top lane, we have Did I Ask. In the jungle, we have 3 Meter Peter. In the middle lane, we have Jongsda. 1, 2, 3. In the AD carry, we had Thunderstorms with a Z and an S. And then in support, we have Julian the Legend. Looking at both teams, they're equally matched. They've come here for a reason. Now, obviously, when you compare both sides, SPCC tends to have at least a stronger ranks. Just looking at the lobby to begin with, you look at the Platinum 1 compared to the Silver 2. And if I was, as on Thursday, which you weren't here for, want to see SPCC do a really, really clean game. You said yourself that you're very new to this game. So how long have you been playing?
I started maybe 3 weeks before the tournament started.
Wow, right.
Yeah, very, very new.
Right, what's your favorite champion?
Kai'Sa,
and assume you're an AD carry?
AD carry.
AD carry. Kai'Sa's good. Kai'Sa's very strong. Always going to be strong in the meta. And we're pretty much started to go whenever the tournament is ready to start. It's going to be, it's a best of 3, unlike the best of 1s that we had previous on. And we're just jumping straight into it. We've got a big day ahead of us. Up on the first bans are SPCC. So for you, do you think that there would be any high priority picks or bans there going against Aquinas?
It really depends on who they want to target first.
Mm-hmm.
So
looks like the Shen will be targeted.
Yeah, Shen's targeted. I wonder if they will go with the Azir for SPCC to ban for Aquinas.
Yep.
Did I Ask is very good at that top lane Azir.
Right. Well, okay, so just going off that there, the Shen is the first ban. Shen is a champion that has picked up a little bit of a power spike, not only in the top lane, but also as a support.
There's the Shaco ban.
Yeah, as the Shaco ban. They did listen to the advice. They heeded the warning on Thursday. They realized that Shaco not found should not have Shaco, and that champion should just be found not at all. And then on the other two bans there, we have Kane and Caitlin. So one ban targeted at the AD carry and one targeted at the jungle. And then sadly, you don't have a lot of bans.
No.
But Mordekaiser has managed to sneak through. I mean, a very strong, powerful champion,
Yeah.
which definitely Master Knight is very capable on, which we saw on Thursday. So, I mean, what do you think? What do you think will come up next?
Not entirely sure. I don't know whether they'll pick in order or
Yeah.
they will
Go for a
try
swap.
something else. Yeah.
So they have
They are
opted to
going at the moment in the same order.
Yeah, so they have gone for the Aurelia in the top lane. Potentially, Aurelia versus Mordekaiser matchup can go either way there, depending on the Aurelia's skill. However, I just know that Master Knight is an absolute beast on that Mordekaiser. And then because the Java was picked, they're free to pick into their jungler as well. So that's a Kha'Zix lock in for SPCC alongside a Lissandra in the mid lane. Now, Jongstar does have a counter pick opportunity here, or he could potentially go for an AD carry, but he hasn't. He's gone for the Orianna, which I look at that and I look at the Orianna, I look at the Jarvan, I look at the Aurelia. It's a ball delivery service. So Orianna being able to throw her ball and latch onto someone, and then a huge AoE ult which pulls them all together.
Yeah.
Jarvan creates a fight club, essentially, a fight pit. It's all looking towards those big wombo combos. Leona being banned out in the first ban of the second wave there, and then retaliating with a Braum. Interesting pick. Obviously that's a bit of a targeted ban, as Braum's not really in the meta at the moment.
Yeah.
I didn't really expect that. But you know, that has its, obviously if you can play someone you're more comfortable on, that's better than playing someone who's really strong.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then the final two bans there are both targeted for the AD carries, a Vayne ban and an Ashe ban. So, I mean, Aquinas has just decided to not really target one person. They've decided to, with their bans, go and ban everyone. So they decided that everyone gets a ban. They're basically the Oprah of banning phase. Everyone gets one. And then the Talia being grabbed as an AD carry. Very interesting there. We have seen, it's not a traditional AD carry.
No, it's not.
More or less, it's a mage sitting in that little bot lane carry spot there. And I mean, only really goes through the extra CC with Orianna, with Java, with Aurelia. Then we're looking at SPCC, and they have picked up the Thresh, they've picked up the Shaker almost immediately there. And then Aquinas do get their counter pick, and they will grab a Nautilus. Now, is there anything that you're immediately seeing about any of these sides?
Not really. The Talia does seem like a comfort pick from AQ, definitely. I mean, as you said, it's not the traditional AD carry, but yeah, it does seem it is his most played champ on this side.
Yeah.
So
I mean, at the same time, when you go into the finals, sure you can play who's strong. Sure you can play, you know, a range of different champions. But at the end of the day, playing who you are most comfortable on will most likely, probably statistically, give you the most wins.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that can play into it. And the games, of course, being a best of 3. We might see this change up in the second game.
Yeah,
we might
definitely.
see this strategy that the AQ is trying to pull out, which is very team fight focused. Probably knowing, if I'm looking at AQ compared to SPCC here, SPCC have grabbed a lot of champions that do well on their own. Lissandra with a lot of single target damage. Kha'Zix, who wants to get the champions that he's fighting against isolated.
Yeah.
Mordekaiser, just Mordekaiser. Yeah, and then comparing that to the side of AQ, definitely trying to force those 5v5s, force those team fights, where they potentially, with the ultimates, no matter how good you are, if you have 5 ultimates thrown at you, something's going to happen.
definitely, yeah.
And then, so, I mean, early predictions on, who do you think will be who do you think's going to come out ahead?
Being slightly biased, I really hope it's Aquinas that comes out on top.
That's fair. Yep, that would make sense.
Would make sense. But rank-wise, I feel SPCC does have that little step up on them, especially with the Plat 1 top lane into the Silver 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully Aquinas just groups together nicely and takes those team fights the second they hit 6.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is you really want to look for those like level 6 power spikes. The Talia are going to be able to as well have a lot of map pressure.
Yeah.
So potentially using that ultimate to get rid of Dragon, to help block off Dragon, to go mid and possibly get a pick on Lissandra. However, I mean, SPCC are a little bit slippery to catch as well. The Thresh with the Lantern, giving someone an escape. Tristana has a jump. Lissandra also has a movement ability where she can teleport anywhere. Kha'Zix has a jump. Mordekaiser is just Mordekaiser. It doesn't matter. You don't want to play against him. But yeah, a very interesting pick in bans here. I mean, you look at the side of SPCC and they kind of were a little bit lax on the mid lane there and a little bit lax on, I'd say, the top lane, with the Shen being more a support ban than anything. You don't tend to see too many Shens top. And definitely more focusing on that bot side and the jungle as well. So interesting take there. But yeah, at the same time, I think it will heavily depend that this match will go in favor of SPCC if they are able to find those early kills and have that early pressure. But if they wait around, which SPCC are known to do, they don't take the risks in the early game. And the reason why they don't do that is because if they take unnecessary risks, then it can not go out in their favor. So if they wait and if they don't use their advantage, then once the team fight position happens, once we get out of laning phase at about 15 minutes there, those team fights are going to start to push. And as long as Aquinas can group up as a team and not get caught out 1v1, they should be fine, definitely. The ult from Nautilus coming out, which is huge single target, being able to hit the Tristana, being able to lock down the Lissandra. You just don't want to get caught out by that SPCC team.
No.
But yeah, we will jump right into game. Again, a huge thank you to Lenovo for sponsoring this whole thing alongside all the prizes that everyone will receive today. A reminder that those prizes for the first place team is 5 headsets, 5 mice, and 5 keyboards. I believe you also won something for the Let It Shout competition as well.
Yeah, so the 3 Let It Shout winners, we got a backpack, a hat, a shirt, a water bottle, and a mouse as well.
Man, schools have become cool. schools are becoming awesome, and I'm very jealous that I wasn't there. Anyway, we are jumping right into game now. We'll see if there's any invades here. Both teams do have someone that could potentially invade. Looking at the Nautilus and looking at the Thresh, both with their hooks and both with their pulls. If anything, the early pings coming out from AQ, just to really to stop that invade from possibly happening there, which is a very smart pick. However, the way that they've gone around it is a little bit interesting there. There are a lot of pings, but it looks like SPCC might play a little safe. If not, they might look for a blue buff side and then invade in that early red and potentially catch J4 out. I'm just gleaming that from the initial 3 here. Kha'Zix looking like he is going to go back. Hasn't thrown down his ward, so it would be interesting to see if he will change to sweeper. He did throw it out last second there, and he has changed to sweeper. So there we go. The change has been made, and it looks like he will go with the traditional red buff start. Both junglers opting to go with the refillable health potions, which is, the staple, the norm. Yep. And 3 meter has not gone for a ward and a sweeper back, so he will be a little bit lacking in that control of the vision, just because he won't be able to remove the wards on a potential gank. But at the same time, there's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
In this situation, I think that is probably the better option, especially wanting to play a lot safer, being able to have extra vision to be like, I wonder if there's a Kha'Zix in that brush. Turns out there is, and we've just turned into Pokemon and a wild battle has happened. We'll see how these teams play up against each other. Basic trading, nothing going on, just the usual throwing of spells, slinging of abilities.
Yeah.
Few wards going down there. Talking about the runes choices here as well. Talia has opted to go with the Dark Harvest, which tends to be the traditional one. Even could have possibly gone for an Aftershock. The Thresh Hook not landing, though, a level 1 really big ability there. Level 2 has hit Master Knight. Master Knight is going in there, landing the pull, but nothing else, as Aurelia gets a really nice stun there. Did I ask? Has some mechanics there. Shaker Not Found using the level 2 advantage to really push out and say that this is my lane, and he didn't manage to find a hook there, so that level 2 advantage has been and gone, as he will potentially just go back to farming there. Nothing really going on, except we see that the Kha'Zix is invading in the jungle. J4, my friend, he is opting to go for a really safe strategy here, not looking like he will go for the red buff. He is quite low, so taking it a little bit safer. The Kha'Zix is going to be able to get away with his red buff, though. For J4, that's not the worst thing in the world. He does have additional CC that can help with ganks. It just sucks as a jungler. It just sucks losing out on that, and there are a lot of pings going out, so they definitely know that J4 is there, which has given a lot of priority over to Phoenix Cred. And then looking, Aurelia's been pushed into with Master Knight at the top lane there. Gone back, grabbed a control ward. Jarvan has that one in his inventory there. The Aurelia, I think if anything, as an Aurelia, you kind of want that to be pushed up. You don't want to be open to those Kha'Zix ganks. And definitely throwing a ward down in that Tri-Brush will help, as Shaco Not Found leans out to get some more vision score there, putting one in the blue buff ward there, the river entry, as well as using the scrying ward. So they know that J4 isn't anywhere in there.
Yeah.
But again, J4 farming the Krugs there. There's a lot of ward coverage presently in the bot side. As we see, what will happen first? And there's the Nautilus with a Q in, the drag and the stun landing, the Thresh having to flash away. The heal coming out of Tristana there as Thresh just gets away. The Kha'Zix is just around the corner, however, making his way to rotate down. A really brilliant rotate there, but Talia will protect the Nautilus and the heal and the flash will come out. But however, the hook comes back in. Kha'Zix, you are not safe. The Lantern comes out, and that was almost a disrupt for Spcc, but I'm not going to be able to stop talking right now because Lissandra gets ganked, but manages to dodge out of the way, and a really brilliant engage there by Aquinas, kind of showing that SPCC needs to keep on their toes.
Definitely. It looked like Nautilus was almost gone there when Kha'Zix came through, but then Talia saved him and they pulled it off.
Yeah, that's why you would choose that champion. Not only do you have a lot of pressure in damage, but the utility coming out of that knockback and being able to use it wherever. There's a lot of CC in that bot lane, and it just goes to show that even when the chips are down and they're playing what necessarily might look like a losing match, they can still fight back, and they almost picked up 2 kills there.
Yeah.
But again, summoners have been burnt there. A flash, exhaust, and a heal on the side of Aquinas, and a heal and a flash burnt on the side of SPCC. Thresh does have a Hex Flash, so he is going to be able to appear over walls if given that momentary channel. And Aurelia has hit 6, but so is Mordekaiser, so it's a very dangerous lane. Of course she wants to go in, but as soon as he pulls her into the Shadow Realm, he will steal some of her stats as well. So you are playing at a little bit of a disadvantage there. The Corrupting Potion being popped, definitely looking at trying to get any trade to see if you get any little bit of damage there.
Yep.
Any chip damage, as Dragon is up and it is an Ocean Soul. The wards have come out, and it looks like Aquinas will opt to go for an early dragon here, but they have been caught out. They do know that the dragon is happening. Aurelia going into the Mordekaiser here, applying some damage. And that might be a free dragon. Kha'Zix is on the wrong side of the map there, and that is a brilliant first objective for Aquinas, showing why they got into the finals here as Aurelia sweepers the top side jungle there, knowing that Kha'Zix is not there anymore. So Aquinas know that Kha'Zix has either gone back or he's in the bottom side jungle, and they haven't stuck around too long to figure that out. However, Talia is by herself in the bot lane. If caught out by the Thresh, that would spell pain, but looks like she will be going back as well. And, I mean, a very eventful 1 minute, and then I'm expecting that we'll go back to 5 minutes of farming. Oh, man. But, yeah, again, really brilliant fight there. Really brilliant engage. And, as well, props to Aquinas. I mean, you are sitting here gleaming.
I am very happy with the Aquinas.
Yeah, just noticing that the Kha'Zix wasn't anywhere nearby. They pushed the bot lane back.
Yeah.
They did then take advantage of that and managed to score an objective, stealing one away. The Mordekaiser missing the grab. And, I mean, Aurelia missed the stun as well. So, miss CC. The Talia looking for the engage here. The knock-up hits the Nautilus Q. Unfortunately, grabs a minion. A lot of hitbox. That minion took a dive. Mr. President get down. However, there might be a little bit of a fight popping up here. Kha'Zix is appearing there. Both level 5 are the junglers. The Mordekaiser not going to be able to land anything there. However, the Lissandra is level 7, so ult is up. The stun is going down, but Orianna just walks out of the way as a fight for a potential Herald there stops in its tracks. However, J4 is at a disadvantage when 1v1ing Kha'Zix just due to the fact that how Kha'Zix works, when you are isolated, he does do more damage, so definitely have a buddy.
Yes.
You want to have friends. In this game, having friends is important. Having friends wins you games. Having friends makes sure Kha'Zix doesn't one-shot you.
Especially because we've said Aquinas is that team fight based team,
100%.
so they need the extra person there.
It's almost like Aquinas, you need like your buddy. You're like, you can't leave base without your friend. Where are you? Oh man. Just more trading going on. I mean, I like the playstyles. You know, not everything is action 100% of the time, but let's start some fights. This is the grand final. Let's see some. I'm excited to see when those big team fights come out.
Yeah,
potentially
definitely.
in 20 minutes. You know.
Well, they've all hit level 6 now, so every champ on the screen has their ult.
Yeah. And there's not really too many item power spikes here either. Interesting that Master Knight has opted to go for the not the Mejai's, the Liandry's first item. Kha'Zix looking like he might try to sneak into a bot lane gank here. Hiding in the brushes and using the alcove there. He has his sweeper up, so they know that there are no wards. Probably just waiting for Shaco Not Found to potentially get either a flay or a hook there as he takes the brush. Julian might get caught out here. The lantern goes down as Nautilus tries to do as much as he can to stop Water Hazard, but the teleport goes down. Thunderstorm's taking a lot of damage, but the heal and the flash coming out. Orianna teleporting in as well, but followed by Mordekaiser, followed by Aurelia. It is a clown fiesta down in the bot lane here. Julian drops. Spcc is slowly turning this one around, but Aurelia manages to pick up the Kha'Zix there, turns it into a 4v1. But oh man, talking about fights, did we just see one? Unfortunately on the side of AQ, they got caught out there, but good job on Did I Ask for picking up a kill. The Jarvan coming through, my friend. You are fighting a 4v1, but he manages to pick up a kill and trade it into a 1-on-1. The Talia is back. The Mordekaiser's a nice little sidestep there as the Lissandra passive comes down. And I mean, a really nice pick there, turning it into another kill there, which is definitely what Aquinas needed. And J4 has managed to build his jungle item, which will only add to the more damage throughout the rest of the game. Yeah. Stormrazor being grabbed for the Tristana. So she does have a little bit of an item power spike alongside that Mordekaiser getting Liandry's and a ward being thrown in the alcove there. That won't happen again, hopefully. However, I do notice that the only thing that I would really comment on is the fact that Aquinas have yet to change over to sweepers. Which at this stage of the game, especially with the completed support item, whether it is a lapse in memory or whether it is potentially just a misstep there, unfortunately, you could potentially get away with those missteps, the games leading up to the finals. But unfortunately, we are in the finals. So any misstep like that can be very, 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 very dear and dire. Herald, however, being grabbed for on the side of Aquinas. So even though they did lose bot side and they might lose Dragon right now, they did pick up Herald, which potentially they could throw anywhere. Lissandra is looking to potentially zone out to the side of Aquinas there as Kha'Zix picks up jungle. J4, however, might get caught out, the threshold not landing. And if I was Aquinas in that setting, I definitely would have thrown Herald mid as you knew they were dragon. However, that is a huge amount of free damage that comes from Mordekaiser standing in his death circle, especially with Leandre. He's just going to slowly burn you down and down and down as Kha'Zix looks like he's coming to the bot side once again. Mordekaiser grabbing Aurelia, pulling her to the Shadow Realm. She doesn't have a lot of health. She might fall here as Mordekaiser just picks up an easy kill there. Very squishy. And there's another kill that might come up from Aquinas here. The Nautilus being caught out there. Julian the Legend, the Tristana jumping over with the reset as Lissandra comes over the wall. And that's a triple kill for Water Hazard. Finding jumps on jumps on jumps, and another unfortunate series of events there for Aquinas just getting caught out, as we said, which is what they really want to avoid there. Anything that you noticed there?
Not really. A few ults have been used at this stage, so they are on reset. I mean, you've only got Lissandra's ult up for SPCC when Aquinas has, three up. So, and if they do the ults in the team fights, they may have a little bit of an advantage there, just because they're down.
100%. And looking at some other potential item spikes here, Aurelia going for the Blade of the Rune King, which will help in her sustain and help in the extra damage to a tanky Mordekaiser. Tristana, Water Hazard has opted to go for a Hex Drinker first item, looking at potentially going for a more of Malmortius. So there is recognizing that there is a lot of AP damage on the side of Aquinas and playing more survivability second item as opposed to playing for, a Phantom Dancer, Runan's Hurricane, going for those more quintessential AD items. Opting to go for a little bit more supporty or a support-esque item there. Lissandra throwing it down some more CS. Also just wanted to comment on the fact that you look at the two mid laners and Jongstar is 20 CS up on the Lissandra. So that's definitely a very good, a win there. It's definitely showing that, even though Lissandra has been roaming a little bit, I could argue that so has Orianna. So she has managed to find a little bit of a lead there. And then the difference in bot lane is only 10 CS with Nautilus having a little bit more farm there as well. However, there is a little bit of discrepancy when you look at jungle, when you look at top lane there. Yeah, there definitely is about 30 CS there as Kha'Zix he's set up a camp in this bot lane. He's got some s'mores cooking. He's looking for a good time. However, that Kha'Zix is going to find nothing this time. And you look at this side of the map and it is lit up. The river is absolutely teeming with blue wards. It's like they grow down there or something. Moby Boots on the Thresh as well as Nautilus has opted to go for Merc Tread. So also not really going for the extra mobility, but more for the tankiness and the engage, the fight. So going back to what we said, it's about those team fights. It's about those 5v5s when we're all together. Which, we haven't really seen a proper team fight yet. More than likely, Aquinas has kind of been caught out there as 3 meter just comes through. He does have Herald and he will pop it there. Of course, the more time you have Herald, the less time you can use your vision, use those wards, use the sweeper potentially. As Thresh and Kha'Zix pop in there, the Flay coming down, the Orianna ult huge though, fighting 3 people. The Kha'Zix goes down. The Jarvan almost managed to pick up the Lissandra. The teleport coming in, that is Aurelia, but it does get stopped by the Mordekaiser. Unfortunately, she's not going to be able to pick up that final kill on the Mordekaiser or on the Lissandra there as Tristana jumps around. The Nautilus ult not finding the final kill there onto the Lissandra, but a really, really good fight there on the side of SPCC, finding yet another moment with the Thresh on the Moby Boots just makes him so quick. And the Kha'Zix immediately using his ult to be stealthed in the shadows there as he ran forward. Again, going back to something that I said in the Champion Select, there is a lot of mobility coming on the side of SPCC. They can be a lot of places,
very quickly.
Very quickly. That's the words I was looking for. Thank you for being here. I was very tongue-tied. However, definitely looking at the side of Aquinas and how does Aquinas get back into this game? Any thoughts?
I think they really just need to play it more safe, try not get caught out.
Yep.
And looking at the maybe a fight breaks out over this dragon here.
100%. Dragon is a very, very, worthwhile objective, if not the strongest, especially when you look at a mountain drake, which will give you extra resistances, which can potentially help you survive a little bit more. We will be looking at the earth drag or the mountain dragon soul as well, which is the extra shield, which can help with the poke damage. Looking at Aquinas, there's definitely a few things that potentially have not gone their initial way. I would say the J4 the 3 meter would have to have built a little bit tankier there. The Thresh Hook does not find purchase, but the Mordekaiser does, as he's just running forward there. The Aurelia stun landing as a team fight happens there. Thresh being caught out. The Tristana, however, jumping in, focusing on to the J4, but not finding out a kill there as Mordekaiser just picks up 1, 2, and yet all of Aquinas goes down off screen as there is a 5-man ace and a dragon on the side of SPCC, and things ain't looking too good.
Definitely not. Not after that team fight.
Yeah, it just comes down to the fact that it's a lot of vision control there. SPCC slowly rotated around the dragon pit. They managed to pick up, those wards, denying the vision, basically adding to the fog of war that Aquinas was looking at. If you can't see your opponents, you don't know what they're doing, and then you can't react to that. And definitely by the side of SPCC are very, very vision control-y there. Just goes to, and then looking at Aquinas as well, they have not been able to find anything, but they might find this Tristana. She has jumped and she does not have her flash up, so this might be a free kill there. Water Hazard overstaying as Talia manages to grab it, and that is the new champion emote as well. Very interesting to see that popping up, which is, I believe, the new in-game event to unlock the new champion when it shows up eventually. But I mean, really nice there of Aquinas finding that kill, especially on such a high priority target such as that Tristana, getting the shutdown gold, which will now funnel back into their team. Very good.
Very, very good.
Surely you'd be proud.
I'm very proud of that one. I mean, they caught her out on her own, and we were saying before, you got to take your buddies with you, and especially as an AD carry, you need that support there until you get much, much stronger than the other teams, and you can hold by yourself. Yeah. Tristana didn't.
Yeah, Tristana. Yeah, exactly. Tristana didn't. Didn't have the Thresh, and I mean, even in these huge team fights, Aquinas is just shy of getting those kills there, and a Thresh Hooks lands on the Orianna. I don't think she will be living much longer. The Orianna ult comes out. However, the flag and drag coming through from the J4, the Tristana ult knocking him back as Shaco Not Found is being nailed by this Talia there, as Aurelia jumps into the fray there. The Lissandra dropping down, and that is an easy 2k for the side of AQ, and somehow the odds are against them that the underdog story is playing out here. They managed to find another kill. A beautiful Nautilus drag onto the Tristana there, finding 1 kill. However, he almost goes down, but here comes big bad boy Mordekaiser. Run away while you still can. The Kha'Zix finding 1 kill, finding 2. This might be it. The Nautilus ult used mainly for defensive purposes, just to knock away that Mordekaiser and stop him from going there. But a really, really nice engage and team fight by AQ there to find those kills. Yeah,
basically.
Really, really nice. Just that Aurelia coming down. She is 2 and 5, so she definitely needs to try to find. Well, Did I Ask needs to try and find those capabilities, those win conditions wherever they can. As Master Knight just basically solos the tower by himself. The Liandry's Torment being grabbed. The Rylai Scepter being grabbed. The Grill Core, 2 items there that you want on the Mordekaiser to do damage and to really stick with the CC. Eventually, if Master Knight keeps getting these kills and keeps getting these advantages, the Hextech Proto Belt as well, the extra mobility, we will get to a point where unfortunately there will be an event horizon where Mordekaiser becomes too strong for anyone to deal with. And looking at the side of Aquinas, they don't have too many tanks. They don't have any tanks, if all. J4 has opted to go for the Warriors enchant as opposed to the Cinderhulk. So definitely not having a lot of health there might be detrimental. Sure, you need damage, but at the same time, your team needs tanks. He's looking like he will go for a Titanic Hydra there. which, I mean, is going to lend into that tankiness, but the Titanic Hydra works better when you have a lot of HP. However, Talia might get caught out there. The Lysandra popping in, and the Thresh as well with the Flay picking it up, adding an extra soul into his collection as Master Knight pulls the Johnstar into the Shadow Realm there. He does have the tower to possibly defend him, but it doesn't matter. Mordekaiser is huge. The J4 trying to get away, but again, this Mordekaiser is just running through, but at the same time, this Tristana is just jumping all over the map, getting reset after reset, and there is another ace that happened in a mere matter of moments. And I mean, as soon as Aquinas, it was going their way, in comes SPCC to tell you that this game isn't over yet. We still have control. We still do have the map pressure, and there is an inhibitor going down with Dragon almost being up as well. Definitely, if I was SPCC, I'd be looking at rotating over to that Dragon side and then potentially even going to a Baron.
Well, they did just ping the Baron, but they're moving towards the Dragon, so they will probably see how Aquinas, where they go.
Good, nice little realization there by SPCC as well, seeing that the minions were pushed up into the bot side. Tristana with her tower taking capabilities, and the recent Tristana buff, which increases her damage on her explosive charge with the amount of crit that she has. Yep. So basically, she does a lot more damage now. A buff that she really needed to get back into the meta. She was really strong there for a moment, definitely with the added utility, but very much relies in a team fight on getting those resets. So when you have someone like Water Hazard who's got it, who does have 8 kills and 6 assists, those are a lot of resets, being able to jump over the map over and over again.
Yeah.
Zeke's being grabbed for the Nautilus, so adding to the team fight capabilities, whereas Thresh has opted to go for a Knight's Vow. So more of that support-esque item, and I believe that Knight's Vow is put on to the Mordekaiser, so kind of just being like, you are our carry, please put us all on your back and take us to victory. The Duskar being grabbed on the Kha'Zix, which he finished it a while ago there, as both the Orianna and the Talia have Ludens, and Orianna has opted to go for the spell shield, as Talia has gone for the Zhonya's Hourglass, the Banshee Veil, that was the word I was looking for, on the Orianna, and there comes a Mordekaiser right out of a brush. You have engaged a fight that you necessarily don't want to fight there, and Master Knight picks up the kill there. He is legendary, has not died yet, as there is a second kill. Will we see a Penta here? The blasting cone happening, but there is a triple kill as Mordekaiser pulled them all back into the Shadow Realm. A quadra kill, surely the Thresh hook, and this is the first game of the day, but we might see a pentakill. This is absolutely brutal. This is insane there. The Zhonyas won't help you, my friend, as we'll see a pentakill come out the first game of the day, and if that is anything to go by, we have an insane game, or at least an insane day in front of us.
Definitely.
Woo!
Well, I mean, now, they're up by almost 13k gold there, so 100%. They have a lot more.
J4 trying to find anything there, but a giant mace to the face will say no, as, again, at this point, it's just trying to find any last kills there. Nautilus going in, and Master Knight finishes the game 13-0, and yeah, definitely... That was a very good game. I would say on both sides, they definitely had their pros and cons there. We are, like, you look at the side of Aquinas, and they did manage to find these really, really nice kills, these really, really nice moments of finding those, like, those catches on the Tristana, those nice little, like, skirmishes. However, when it came to team fights, which was what Aquinas was trying to lean for, unfortunately got to a point where there was just no chance.
Yep, the Mordekaiser just bonked everyone.
Bonked. That is the word. Yes, he did bonk everyone.
Bonk everyone.
And that will be game 1 over to SPCC. We will take a quick break. Any final comments for you about that game?
Pity that Aquinas lost, but hopefully they learn something and do something better next time.
Yeah, 100%. And we will see you after this short break.